Welcome everyone to this session, the fourth on Prout principles. I see that there are a few new faces here, so maybe I can explain a little bit what's going to happen. So Rajesh will talk about, today will be the eighth and ninth principle of Prout, correct, Rajesh?
9th, 10th, and 11th.
9th, 10th, and 11th principle of Prout, and it will take more or less 40 minutes. And then there will be a space for questions and answers. So if you have any questions, then you can take note, and then in the end, you can ask. So without taking too much time, I would like to thank Rajesh once again. It's been wonderful, and these sessions have been very enlightening. So thank you once again. Okay, you can start whenever you like, Rajesh.
Namaskar to everyone. Today is our fourth session. And as Brother Maheshwara said, some new faces are there. Just a quick reminder that in the first session, we discussed about is Prout required or do we need any kind of change? So discussed in that first session. Second session, we discussed first four sutras of Prout. And the third session was again four sutras, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth. And today we are going to discuss 9th, 10th, and 11th. Those who have joined the second session, in that session I said Prout is in form of Sanskrit sutras, principles in 16 sutras. First to eighth, these eight sutras are social laws of the Prout philosophy. Ninth, 10th, and 11th, which we are going to discuss today, are the economic laws of the Prout philosophy. And as we all know, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th, these five principles are five fundamental principles of Prout, which will be discussed later on in the coming sessions. So moving on to the very first economic law, and in continuity is a principle number 9, which says युगस्य सर्व निम्न प्रयोजनम सर्वेषाम विधेयम. Yugasya means of a particular age. Sarva nimna, yugasya sarva nimna paryojanam sarvesham. Sarva nimna paryojanam means the basic or the minimum requirements of that specific age. Sarvesham vidheyam should be made available to everyone, to all. So in continuity, it becomes the minimum requirements of the age should be guaranteed to all. So we should focus or a bit give focus on the words. The minimum requirements of the age means these requirements will change by the time. What are required today might be something will become obsolete, or after 50 years or 100 years, something is more required. So it will be decided by the society, which are the basic or the minimum requirements. So these requirements of the age should be guaranteed. Again, this word guaranteed is emphasized. Probably in every constitution or the constitutions across globe which a country has adopted, they talk about the welfare state. They talk about the right to life, right to job, right to exist. But in many of the countries, these directive principles of the constitutions are merely in the books. Those are not available to the general masses or the general public. And the last should be guaranteed to all. When the word all, it means every human being, either in that samaj or the state or the nation, everyone. We can't exclude anyone on the basis of caste, color, creed, language, or anything. We can't discriminate. A person who is within the periphery of that samaj, state, or the nation, he or she is entitled to get those basic or minimum requirements. So this sutra is the basic or the minimum requirements of the age should be guaranteed to all. So we can discuss a bit the other prevailing economic philosophies. Are they giving it or not? So in the very first session, we discussed that World Bank says 3 billion people are living below poverty line. Oxford University has conducted one survey which was under the aegis of United Nations, and that was named Oxford Human Development Index. And in that, it it happened in 107 countries, not the entire globe. Almost half of the countries, this survey was done in the 107, and probably 200 countries are the members of United Nations. So in just half, 1.3 billion people are living in extreme poverty. They call it multi-dimensional poverty index. And when this capitalism came, we or the thinkers or the economists say that from the 1760, when industrial revolution took place, it's the beginning of the capitalism. So 260 years, after 260 years, 3 billion people are below poverty line or living in poverty. So it means capitalism is not capable to uproot or alleviate the poverty from the planet Earth. And when it comes to communism, we all are witnessing that communism is now only in the books. Even the leading country which represents communism, that is China, they are also following the same economic system which has been used, utilized, or adopted by the United States, India, Germany, European, in any country in the Europe. They are part of the World Trade Organization, they are part of the World Bank, they are part of the International Monetary Fund. So they are following this system. So communism is no more practically practiced in any of the country. And why it became obsolete? It is clear that if the communism was capable in uprooting the poverty, they have been here. They became obsolete, or the communist system or the communism is no more following in any of the country. It is itself is a example or sign that communism was not a successful economic theory. So again, a question arises that how the minimum requirements will be guaranteed to all. Suppose in India, in constitution, there are two parts. One is directive principle, and what these principles are, that state need to do this, but that is not mandatory. It's just a directive to the state. And there are certain fundamental rights. Fundamental rights means we have freedom of speech. Even we want to criticize the programs and policies of the government, we can. We have the freedom of our religious beliefs and following the religious path. Government can't intervene. Rather, someone is intervening in our religious process. We can go to the court and we can say that they are interfering with our fundamental right. But right to life, right to exist, this is not a fundamental right. So many public interest litigations has been filed in Supreme Court of India, which is the highest judiciary body in India. But all the time, Supreme Court rejected it on the ground that this is not your fundamental right. This is in Constitution, but it's merely a directive principle. So we can request to the government, but can't compel them that they should give you all these basic requirements. So merely giving it a fundamental right in the constitution helps us. And even the Prout propounder says that this should be made a fundamental right of a citizen, that they should get the basic or minimum requirements. And if it is in constitution as a fundamental right, any citizen can go to the court and he or she can say that I am a literate person, I am physically in good position, I am able to work, I am willing to work, but government is not giving me the work or job, so how I can survive? So I need my bread and butter. And in that case, courts are compelled to say to the government that no, he or she is entitled for the basic requirements and you have to provide. So this is one part, the constitutional or the theoretical part. Let's come to the practical aspects. Many governments are running, those who are living in developed countries, they might feel that these basic requirements, and what is the minimum requirements right now? The five things. And what are those five things? First and foremost is food. We need food to survive. So food is the first essential minimum requirement. Another one is clothing. Some of our brothers and sisters are living in extreme cold, some are living in extreme hot. So we need some proper clothing to survive. Third one is housing. We need a shelter. Doesn't mean that a castle or bungalow or something else, but we need a dignified living accommodation. Fourth is education. And the fifth one is medical facilities or the medical treatment or the healthcare services. These five are the fundamental or the, sorry, basic or minimum requirements for any individual in the globe. As I said, in many countries, might be all these things are available. So for them, it seems that Prout is talking something very old, very primitive. These things are abundantly available in our country. So what is the meaning of these minimum requirements or something? So I will come to that. But before coming to that part, let me give me some examples where governments are trying to give some helping hand to their native people or their citizens. What the knowledge, information I have, probably Mexico is the first government across globe which started a direct cash transfer to their poor people or people those who are don't have that money for their livelihood. So it was started in 1977 in Mexico, and probably the name of the program was Progresa. So government was giving some cash to the people, to the needy people, so that they can survive. Even in Brazil, there were many programs which was clubbed in one program in 2003, and it was given a name, uh, Bolsa Familia. It means family allowance. It was a cash transfer, and the conditional cash transfer, if the poor people are sending their children to the school, if they are going to the health centers, if they are participating in the nutrition programs, then the government will give some cash to the people, those who are needy. So it was named Bolsa Familia. It has been stopped last year, 31st of December 2021, and now it has been rebranded or renamed as Auxilio Brazil. So this is going on. Come to India, last 2 years, 2020 and 2021, it was harsh conditions due to pandemic or the corona, and we have a program named National Food Security Act, NFSA, And to your utter surprise, we have a population of 1.35 billion and 800 million people. Yes, I'm very much right. I'm not forgetting the data. 800 million people were given the food grains and the essential commodities since 2 years continuously, and still it's going on. So you can think the level of poverty, why these programs are going on. Just a reason that people are unable to sustain themselves, people are not able to get the job or the required money or to give a proper life to themselves. So what will happen in the protestic system or the protestic structure, like this Bolsa Familia or the Progressa, which is now named as Prospera? So what will happen? Will the mobile vans or the trucks and other transportation facilities will move in the first week of month, and they will give goods to the people? Is, will this the way in protestic structure or system, that people will get free everything? So propounder is principally against giving free to everyone. Doles or the free things should be given to those who are practically not able to work, whether they are old age people, they don't have anyone in their family to earn, they are unable to work, some physically challenged persons, those who are unable to discharge their duties or unable to work. These people will be taken care by the society, they will get the free facilities. But in protestic system, everyone has to work, and the work must give them. And when I'm saying work, doesn't mean that everyone will get a job in organized sectors, government enterprises is, or sorry, government organizations or the private organizations. These are hardly 6 to 10% in every country. The jobs are 6 to 10% of the entire labor market. Rest of the people, from 95 to 90% people, are either working as self something entrepreneurs, individual entrepreneurs. They are working small, running small ventures. So all these, and doing multiple works, different works. So around 90% people are doing something of their own or involved in a practice which is not a job kind of thing, but they are involved in the work. So Prout, as we will move further, when we will discuss the three-tier economy, and in three-tier economy, we will broadly discuss this part, how that 100% employment can be generated. So Prout says that give an opportunity to everyone to work, and against that work, a person should get whatever the salary, whatever the profit, whatever the remuneration, but it must have the purchasing capacity to buy three essential requirements or minimum requirements. What are those three requirements? The food, the clothing, and the housing. This should be purchased by the individuals, and other two, or the remaining two, education and the health facilities or health services, will be free for everyone in the protesting system. So in this way, everyone will work, they will get the salary or remuneration or the profit to survive themselves. There will be little scope for doles, and we all know that the free economy, the economic based of credit cards, or the economy based on doles and the just free services, is not going to survive for long. So, and even Propounder says that human beings have a tendency to work, they want to live a dignified life, they just don't want to live on the begging or getting something free from someone. give them an opportunity to work so that they can get their three basic requirements, that is food, clothing, and housing, and remaining two will be free, as Prout says, not I am saying it. So as I said, many people will think that these things are abundantly available in my country. So it seems too old, too primitive. But let me give an example from Ukraine. Just 2 months back, Ukraine was the leading sunflower seeds transporter, or the sunflower oil exporter, sorry. He was one of the leading exporter of the corn and wheat. And now they are facing the problem of food scarcity. So doesn't mean that if today we are living in abundance, it's a guarantee for lifetime. Situation may arise when we have to face this kind or such kind of situation where having the food grains and the facilities, we will not be able to get those things. So it's the duty of the society and the government to provide the basic requirements or the minimum requirements to each and everyone. And now moving on to the 10th sutra, which is atiriktam pradatavyam gunanupaten. It says, after meeting the minimum requirements, the surplus goods and services are to be distributed among meritorious people according to the degree of their merit. In simple words, after meeting the minimum requirements of everyone, what the surplus we have in terms of kind or services, this need to be distributed amongst the meritorious people according to the degree of their merit. And let's analyze this sutra also. After meeting minimum requirements, you just read the economic philosophies, either it's communism, it's capitalism, or any of the, one time in India there was a economic policy was called mixed economy, amalgamation of many economic philosophies. So whenever you read these philosophies, you will find that these philosophies discuss about the money, wealth, everything, but they don't talk about the human beings. Money for whom? Wealth for whom? Economic philosophy or economic prosperity for whom? For the human beings. But in capitalism and communism, you will find that human beings are neglected. And I will establish it how the people are neglected and this money and wealth precede over the human beings. But Prout propounder has entirely different vision and ideas. He says that human existence is too important. When we will move towards the quadri-dimensional economics and when we will discuss the psychoeconomics, then we will analyze or we will discuss what is the utmost goal of a human being. Why we are here on the planet Earth? Are we here just to buy and sell the goods or the products? Are we here just to make our presence felt at the social media or something else? And how he was concerned for the human being's existence, not only the existence, but a dignified existence, that in the first economic law, he says that the minimum should be guaranteed to all. When he discussed the economic democracy, that is a part of Prout philosophy, the first principle of economic democracy is guaranteed minimum requirements. And again, in quadri-dimensional economics, It has four parts: people's economy, general economy, commercial economy, and psychoeconomy. Psychoeconomy, he has added this part to the economics. Previously, it was not there. And he says in people's economy will take precedence over remaining part of the economics. And first thing again he says in people's economy, that the minimum requirements should be guaranteed to all. So he was so concerned for the physical existence of human being. And in capitalism, as I said, if we start from 1760, 300 billion, 3 billion people are under poverty. So can't we alleviate this poverty? Let me share just two datas with you. In the first session, we discussed that there are 3,381 persons, and their cumulative wealth is $15 trillion. Yes, you are listening me very right. 3,381 persons, and their collective wealth is $15 trillion. And United Nations and probably Goldman and Sachs, they have survey and the programs conducted some programs that how the poverty from planet Earth can be alleviated or uprooted. And they came to a conclusion that if 175 billion dollars, if 175 billion dollars is spent on poverty alleviation for coming 20 years, the entire poverty from globe Earth will be uprooted. It will not exist. So if we multiply $175 billion to 20 years, it came to $3,500 billion. Let me make it more simplified. Every country is passing through inflation, so money has got a bit devalued. So let me make it, rather than $175 billion, let me make it $200 billion. So $200 billion for 20 years makes it $4,000 billion, which comes to $4 trillion. And 3,081 person has $15 trillion. Means even we just take 25% from these people, the poverty from globe will be alleviated. Elon Musk, which is the richest person on planet Earth, probably he has personal wealth of 270 billion. So I'm not suggesting that take 270 billion from the Elon Musk, but simply take some 60 or 65 billion dollars from him. It will not make much effect to him. Probably only it will happen that he will not able to buy in distant future another Twitter kind of company, which he has just purchased in $44 billion. So it will just a little harm to the Elon Musk. And accordingly, if we take 25% from everyone, in 1 year, the entire poverty can be reduced to zero or it can be uprooted. So either it's system which is a hindrance or which is a hurdle, which doesn't want that poverty should be alleviated. Many, those who are favoring the capitalistic structure or system, they can say that no, it's hard earned money, why they will give to anyone, why they will give it into the charity, governments are not entitled to take their money. But have they, Elon Musk is too talented. What he has invented till now, what he has done for the society, except for utilizing this capitalistic system and having some business acumen, what he has given to the society. So here, if governments comes into the picture and just they take away 25% from this 381 persons, this poverty can be alleviated. Another example we can take. Every year, the countries across globe spend $2 trillion on their defense budget. United States has 800 billions, and China is the second largest, spending probably around $300 billion. Even in India, we some around 80 billions or something. So collectively, the entire globe spends $2 trillion. If every country minimizes their defense budget to 50%, we will able to save $1 trillion every year, and in 4 to 5 years this poverty can be alleviated. So either there is lack of willingness, people or the system is unwilling to uproot this poverty. So poverty can be reduced to zero, minimized to the negligible level, or people can live a dignified life. But this is the system which doesn't allow people to live a dignified life. And as this sutra says, atiriktam pradatavyam gunanupaten, to whom we have to give? The meritorious people. And who are the meritorious? Meritorious people are not those who has multiple degrees. No, these people are not the meritorious people. Meritorious people are those who are working for the welfare of the society. Those who are making some new inventions, making people's life easier, making people's life comfortable, making people's life safer, like doctors, the engineers, the scientists, the agriculturists, all these people, those who are serving the society. These people are the meritorious people, not living for themselves, but they are serving the society. So what the surplus we have, it should be distributed amongst these meritorious people based on the basis of their degree of merit, means the degree of their sacrifice, their contribution to the society. Suppose if we make a principle or that motorbike should be added as a minimum requirement. So we give everyone a motorbike. So what the meritorious people will get? The meritorious people will get, because as Prout advocates for the ceiling on wealth, not necessarily they will get everything in cash, but they can get in the kind, they can get in the better facilities, they can get better equipment, they can get a helping hand or the helpers or some kind of assistance. So if everyone is able to get a bike, so the doctors or those who are helping the society, they are entitled for a four-wheeler, which is nowadays a common thing. But Prout says that meritorious people will be honored. They should be recognized for their sacrifices for the welfare of society, and they should be given something extra more than that the normal people. And many people, those who haven't read the Prout philosophy in length, they say that Prout has nothing new. It is something like communism. Communism also believe in equality, and Prout is talking something like that, that everyone should get the basic requirements and blah, blah, blah. But let me give some examples or the sub points which categorically differentiate between communism and the Prout. Communism talks about the equality, but in 8th sutra we had already discussed in last session that Vaichitriyam prakrit dharma samanam na bhavishyati. Diversity is the law of nature, and we need to respect it. We need to honor it. So the salary will be same, the potentials will be same. It's not practical. It's not the right thing. There should be a diversity in terms of as people are doing some, we know that physical labor, I'm not undermining the value of the physical labor, but we all know that giving a mental or the psychic service needs more, either study, in terms of study, or some more effort or something. So this need to be honored. So communism says about the equality, whereas Prout believes in rational distribution. In communism, everything belongs to a state. Nothing is yours. State is owner, the real owner. But Prout allows for limited ownership and believes in more utilization of the resources, manpower, everything of the maximum utilization. Third thing is that they believe in the centralized economy. In capitalism, again, it's a centralized economy, but it's by the individual, either entrepreneurs, capitalists, or the company. In communism, it's the state which decide what the X state will do, what the Y state will do. Everything will be decided by the state. So it's a state capitalism, which works in centralized form, whereas Prout strongly advocates for the decentralized economy. There is no recognition of merit in communism. And the burning example is after World War II, in 1949, Germany was divided into popularly known as West Germany and East Germany. And we can see a difference between the West Germany and East Germany. East Germany was lagging behind in terms of economic prosperity or development, whereas West Germany was in a better position. Why? East Germany was following the same, he was part of the Eastern Bloc like Romania, Hungary, Poland, under the influence of Soviet Union, and they were following the same communistic structure or the system. And that the reason they were lagging behind. And when in 90, when the German got reunited and unified again, there was a big difference between the West Germany and the East Germany. So they don't give recognition to the merit. And when a merit is not recognized or given due importance or recognition, so definitely a person who has some merit, he will lose his entrepreneur skill or the temperament or zeal to work more. So Prout says, and this specific sutra principle itself is a glaring example that Prout not only recognizes the merit, but says in principle that meritorious will be rewarded. They will get the surplus after meeting the minimum requirements. And the last economic sutra or the principle is 11th one. It's Sarva Nimnaman Vardhanam Samaj Jeev Lakshanam. The increase in the basic standard of living is the indication of the vitality of a society. When people say came to know about these 5 fundamental or the 5 minimum requirements like food, clothing, housing, education, and medical facilities, they think that it's too old, too primitive. But remember, this is very first stage. This is not our completion of journey, but this is the first stage. We have just started Proutistic journey from here. In the future, more and more things will be incorporated among the list of the minimum requirements. For example, we can see as we are connected with each other through this mobile and internet, in the countries, the governments are transferring this cash benefit via this same process. Even in India, the bank accounts has been linked to some ID, and the cash is directly being transferred to their bank accounts. So might be in future, if a society or the government get prosperous and they decide that we will give a free mobile handset and internet facility to our people, this can be added, as conveyance is an essential part of our life, whether we are living in rural area, urban area, or the semi urban area. We need to commute for 5, 10, 15, or 20 kilometers or 50 kilometers in cosmopolitan countries, cities. So might, if the society is prosperous enough, and we don't want to rely more on the fossil fuel, which is petrol, gasoline, and diesel. So government decides, or the society decides, that now it's time we will give a motorbike, hybrid motorbike or electric motorbike to everyone. This will be the part of minimum requirements. So in this way, it will keep uh, modifying itself. There must be a ceaseless struggle against the better standard of living society, because if we cease to work or evolve further, we will become stagnant. The society will become stagnant. No one will be willing to work further. So just think how, which kind of society it will be. But when there is a ceaseless struggle for modifying or making our lives better, everyone's life better, the societies which becomes a society becomes from all of us. When we are collectively together, it's a society. So Prout says that there should be a ceaseless endeavor to make our lives better and better. And this is the indication of the vitality of the society. So those people, or those apprehensive people, those says that Prout is something primitive or old thought school, I would like to remind that Prout believes in uh, any individuals, irrespective of caste, color, creed, language, nationality, whatsoever, their dignified existence and making their life better and better and better and better. If I need to summarize the Prout philosophy in one sentence, it will be guarantee of the minimum requirements and the maximum amenities to the people. And we have to make increasing the list of amenities. As the society becomes prosperous, we must add something new to that minimum requirements list. And in this way, we will flourish, we will become more prosperous, and we will able to live a better dignified life. And as I said, why Prout propounder has given this socio-economic philosophy, because he says that human beings are here not for the sake of buying and selling the products and goods only, but they are here for something else, which is psycho-spiritual practices. But if they are not able to get the basic or the minimum requirements of their life, or they can sustain their life, how they are going to start the journey of psycho-spiritual practice? So it is a path from this basic requirements to moving to the socio-spiritual practices. And on this note, I conclude my today's session.
Then we can conclude this session. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you, Rajesh.
Joining.
It was almost 1.5 hours. So yeah, thank you. And see you soon. I hope we see you next session. I noticed that some people came almost in the end of the session. So to them, I can say that the session has been recorded and it will be uploaded to YouTube. So you can check it there. Okay, so see you next time. Bye-bye.
Namaskar to
Namaskar.
everyone.
Thank
For
you.
having so much of patience.